our hamstring. So what I want you to do is, I want you to come up nice and tall first, and I want you to make sure that you hinge at your hips. You hinge forward. It's often common to bend forward, but again, we want to keep a nice straight back. I want you to hinge forward, and I want you to feel this stretch right through your hamstring. Great job. One more second. And now flex your toe towards your shin. And this is going to take the focus of the stretch to your calf muscle. You're going to be stretching out your calf muscle, remembering the same principles. Your chest is high and you're flexed at your hips. As the stretch starts to release, I want you to release, pull your toe towards your shin and then release off and switch to the other side. Great job. Let's stretch the hip flexor on the other side. Remembering your knees are always shoulder width apart here. Notice her alignment. She's feet are spread. She looks good. Stretching out her hip flexor right on this opposite side. Feeling good? Yeah, feels good? Perfect. You're feeling the stretch where you're supposed to feel it. It'll take a while. You'll just really ease into your stretch. And now this time, as you come back into your hamstring stretch, I'm going to teach you about a principle called the subsiding tension principle of stretching. And basically what that means is, as you feel a stretch here, hinge forward, good job. Now as you feel this stretch, when you get to the point that the stretch feels quite intense, you back up from the stretch. And as it relaxes, then you stretch back into the stretch. And what this does is, over time, it's really going to improve your flexibility. Your hamstrings are going to become lengthened. And it feels awesome. Feeling good? Now let's switch back into the calf stretch again, sitting back further, pulling your toe up towards your shin, sitting back. There you go. You should really now start feeling that in the back of your calves on this leg. Wonderful. Really should feel that. 2 more seconds for holding. 2, 1, and relax. So we've prepared ourselves with our flexibility exercises, and now it's time to move on to our first exercise of our spine and pelvis stabilization. So if you're at home, grab your ankle weights if you're a level 2 or 3 exerciser, and if you're new to exercising, no need to grab any ankle weights. Just get yourself ready, lie on your back and get ready to go. Now days for me tend to get really busy, so in the mornings, I have Formula One Sport because it's a great energizing meal before workouts. You can grab it for lunch. It's awesome. Right, ankle weights are ready. I want you lying flat on your back. This time, I don't want you to eliminate the space between yourself and the floor. No pelvic tilt. Feet are flat. Take one arm straight over your head. Nice job. Engage your abdominal muscles, making this sound. So I'm going to engage your abdominal muscles and start switching them arms, alternating your arms, making sure your palms are facing in, making sure you breathe. You've made that sound, you've connected your abdominal muscles, and I want you to continue to breathe the whole time while holding your core nice and tight, nice and firm. I don't want your arms slapping down on the mat. I want them just to keep moving back and forth, palms facing in. Give me 2 more, 1 more, and relax. Now our next exercise is just a continuation. I want you to lift one knee at a time up to a 90-degree angle. Awesome. Put that arm back behind your head again. And I want you to hold your knees here. And I want you to begin switching again. But make the sound. Psst. And switch. 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 Now keep that rhythm going. Remember to breathe the whole time. And now what I want you to do is, notice that my beginner exerciser, she's really focusing here on keeping her abdominal muscles tight and just focusing on the arm movement, lifting arms at the same time, one after another. She's going to keep it going. She's breathing and relax. Now, our third continuation of this exercise that we're moving on to involves, it's called the dead bug. Fancy name, but we're going to get going with it. So my beginner exercises, stay where you are. My intermediate, stay where you are. Put your arm back, make the sound, engage the abs, and watch my elite exerciser as he incorporates his legs, putting his heel to the floor. Switch, switch, switch. Great job. Now notice that his knee angle never changes. He's working his hip, he's working your abdominal muscles, he's working his arms, just remembering that rhythm. Now this is an exercise that Bob has used because it really works your core in a diagonal line. We're working your transverse abdominal muscles, and relax. Great job. Now we're moving on to a completely different exercise. Dead bug's over, and we're moving on to what's called a partial sit-up. So you're in a perfect position. However, engage your pelvic tilt now. Tilt your pelvis, engage your abs, place your arms up towards your knees, and I want you to lift up, making sure you maintain a chin tuck. As you come up, we're going to hold for 5 seconds and come back down. Now come back up again. It's really important here that as you feel your shoulder blades come off the floor, come back down. As your shoulder blades are off the floor, that's where you stop. Come straight back up. Nice job remembering to breathe the whole time. Back down, come back up, and back down. This is the only time I'm ever going to tell you to give me a double chin. It feels like a double chin, but it allows you to keep your head, tilt your head slightly to the ceiling here. Back down you go. We just have 3 more to go. Lift up, remembering all them cues. Our abs are engaged, your neck's in alignment. Back down you go. Let's make these 2 perfect. Up you go, and back down. Great job, Meg. We just have 1 more left. Up you go, hold, and relax. Great job, guys. Right, we're going to move on to our next exercise, which is a front plank. Now, the front plank really requires a lot of strength, but we're ready for it. So turn over, and I want you to make sure you align yourself, that your shoulders are in line with your wrists. Meg's on her knees because she's my beginner exerciser, and everybody else come up onto your toes. It's really important that you engage your abdominal muscles here, and this is a position that you're just going to hold. You're going to make sure that you're breathing the whole time. You're going to make sure that your body is firm like a plank. I could rest my cup of tea right here. She's not going to move because her core is solid, her hamstrings are tight, everything is in alignment, and we're holding for 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and come back down to your knees. We're going to do that 1 more time. You've remembered your cues, so this time we're really going to focus as we go back up into position. I want you to focus on breathing. So while you're in this position, I want you to really focus on your breath. Breathing in, breathing out, keeping this nice straight line, making sure that your eyes are looking straight down at the floor. Now, we all have a tendency to lift our tush. It's a bit too high, so I want you to push down, really keeping in that nice alignment. Hold that for 1 more second and come back down onto your hands and knees. Stay right there because our next exercise is also on hands and knees. What I want you to do is, I want you to lift one arm up to 90 degrees. Great job. And then extend your opposite leg back. And I want you to lift it just 1 inch off the floor. Staying tight in your core. And I want you to lift your heel to hamstring and then relax back down. Heel to hamstring and back down. Now this exercise is great because you're working across diagonal part of your body. You're working your core, you're working your hamstring. When you select your weights for this exercise, it's important that you pick only 1 to 2 pounds. It may seem light, but in this exercise, when you're in this position, it will feel like 5 pounds. 2 pounds feels like 5 pounds. So select your weights low. And make sure that you keep your angles at 90 degrees the whole time. So I want your arm up. Nice job. Again, every time you come down, you want to make sure that you're only coming down to 2 inches off the floor at the very most, 1 inch at best. Last one, and relax. And let's go to the other side. Take a deep breath before we switch. Again, lift, engaging your abdominal muscles. Nice wide stance. Widen your knees a little bit for me, Carol. Improve that stability base. Great job. Now lift up one arm. Then lift up the leg, straighten it out back. Now lift it off the ground and lift heel to glute, back down, heel to glute, and back down. Great job. Looking good, Meg. How's that feeling? You're looking nice and stable. Just want to adjust your hips here. There you go. Perfect position, arms up. She's looking good. Back's nice and straight. Great job. Keep it going. Wonderful. This exercise is great because, again, it's working opposites. You've got one arm up, you're working your opposite leg. Your core's having to work so hard just to keep you in this position that it's great for hamstring, for your core, your arms staying stable. Give me 3 more. Give me 1 more. 1 more after this. I'm sorry. 1 more. Give me 1 more. Relax, take a deep breath, and let's move on to our next set of the same exercise. So you've got the cues now, so now you can focus on breathing. Get set, hold your abs tight, arms up, legs back, lift the leg, and let's lift to glute, back down, lift to your glute, and back down. Now it takes a few times to get this exercise right, and that's okay. You might feel a little bit wobbly, and if you are, you just take that time to reset yourself, widen your hips here, put your one knee wider than the other, find a stable base, and then start lifting and dropping, lifting and dropping. As you're doing the exercise, your arm's going to have a tendency to drop down. You really have to focus in this exercise to keep your arm in that position, because it's so important that we're working your core the right way. So you're looking good there. How you feeling, Richie? You're doing good. You look great. Your position's great. And relax. And take a deep breath. Position yourself, ready to go for this next set. Lift up, making sure your arm's at 90. And again, we really want to make sure that you're looking down at the floor. You're occasionally going to pick up heel to glute, back down, heel to glute, and back down. Every now and again, you're going to have to glance to make sure, look what we're doing. But always make sure you put your eyes back down into neutral position so that your neck is protected. You're working your abs, breathing. Let's concentrate now for these last few on taking deep breaths in, breathing out, and do a quick body check. I always check when I'm doing exercise. I think about my neck, I think about my arm, I think about my core, I think about my leg. And as you do that, you're focusing on your exercise. Give me 2 more. The more you do it, the better you'll get. Great job. And relax. Take a deep breath. Whip your ankle weights off for you, just for you, Carol. So my exercises that are my level 3, my elite athletes, I want you to keep your leg weights on. We're going to go into a side lying position now because we're going to work on hip adduction and hip abduction. So lie on your side. I want you to make sure that you're lying on your arm, nice straight, your hips are stacked. We're going to be working your leg that's on the bottom. So I want you to take that front leg and put it in front. Great job. I want you to flex your toe. We call this, Bob calls this, called locked and loaded. You're going to lock your heel, you're going to lock your knee, and then we're going to lift up for me. And then come back down. Nice job. So I want you to make sure your hips are square. I want you to come back a little. There you go. And lift. Again, at home, I want you to focus on position. Your knee is locked and loaded. That's so important. Knees locked and loaded. You're looking good. Think and breathe. Every exercise, they're just using slight muscles. We're using small muscle groups. So you have the time to really breathe and think about your form while you're doing the exercise. Your hips always want to be stacked, one on top of the other. You want to be resting your neck so that your back's nice and straight. Wonderful. Looking good. And you want to breathe. Breathe the whole time. Breathing in and out. We've just got 3 more. Give me 3 more lifts. Up and down. Up and back down. Give me 1 more. Last one. And now we're going to switch our exercise to the front leg. Okay, so switch your position, and this time we're working the back leg here. So I want you to take your front leg and tuck it behind. Meg, tuck your leg behind. Good job. You do the same, Carol. Tuck your back leg back. Great. And this time, lock and load. That's going to be my new slogan. Lock that knee and load, and then we're going to lift up. Now, as you lift up, I want you to glance down and make sure you can't see your knee. It's really important that you can't see your knee, because that means you're in the right position. Always want to be back so that you're lifting up you're dropping down. And you've got a nice straight line here. You're looking good. Awesome. How are you getting on with those weights over here, Richie? Good. Your form is great. Your nice spinal alignment. That's awesome. You're looking good. Contract your core for every exercise. We want to give you value for money. We're working your core. We're working your adductor muscles. And that's what we want. We want to work all our muscle groups. Okay, so I want you to do 3 more for me. Nice job. Lift up and back down. Give me 1 more. And then we're going to move on to our second set. So stay on this side. Take a deep breath. And now I want you to switch back to your other exercise. There you go. We're going to be working that bottom leg again this time. So find your position. Connect your core. Start to breathe. Lock and load. Lift up and back down. Lift up and back down. And now remember that every exercise we're doing is working really small muscle groups because stabilization is so important. Bob Forrester, who's put this workout together for us, he works with athletes in all levels. By doing these exercises, hopefully you're going to feel great, you're going to improve your performance in sports or just in life because you're going to be stable through your core. We're going to be improving your posture. You're going to be improving how you breathe. You're going to be concentrating on breath. Breathing in, breathing out. You look great there, Meg. You look awesome. Form is great. Give me 2 more. 1 more. Relax. And let's do our second set on the other side. Wonderful. So switch, get ready. Lock and load. Lock and load, so important. You're nice and aligned. Your hips are back. And let's lift for me. And then back down. Lift. And back down. Doing a great job. You're really going to feel this right here. You're going to feel it in your outer glute. You're going to feel it down the outside of your leg. Nice job. Hold your core tight the whole time. You're breathing. Your core is tight. We're focused and we're working out. We're working new muscles here. And that's awesome. All these exercises are good for your core, your legs, your upper body. That's great. Looking good. Right, we just have 5 more to go. Again, focus on the exercise. Always focusing on making sure that you can't see your knee. If you glance down, you can't see your knee. Lift up. Give me 1 more. Great. And now it's time to flip it over for our second set on the other side. So again, find your position. Make sure you're nice and aligned. And always do a self-check. Always make sure you glance down once you're in position to make sure that, there you go, making sure you can't see your knee. Leg back.